Hello, folks at home. We are here.
Good morning.
We're back for another one of these things. Another one of these mornings of confronting our new reality, which is the Scourge of Ghyran. So, Saray, how's it going?
Going well. Going well. We're excited to talk about Gitz today.
Today is Gitz Day. Gloomspite Gitz, a super popular faction. Um, we do want to remind people, please give the video a like. It helps us out. If you're new to the channel, if you're tuning in because you're like, oh, I like Gloomspite Gitz, and here's a couple idiots on the internet talking about it, you are correct. That is what you are here for. But please consider giving us a subscribe. We do play this faction actually kind of a lot on our channel.
Yeah.
We have three people, really, almost four, that play this faction, and we have all
Yeah,
of
that's
the
true.
different things. So yeah, you will see us playing it. Now, before we jump into Gloomspite Kits, though, as always, Saray, we do have some business to take care of.
Well, it's not business, it's science.
It's science, yeah, much more important than business. Sometimes we forget that in America. Now, here we have three new models to rank. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
what's important about ranking these three new models is that, as always, they are Gloomspite Kits models. And we kind of, well, they're not always Gloomspite Kits models. They're always related to the faction we're talking about today, which is Gloomspite
Yes.
Kits. So here's our first contender. We'll go through the three of them, and we'll kind of decide what we think about these. Okay, this is the new Snarlfang Cavalry. This is, you got your wolf, and you got your two goblins riding the wolf.
Yeah. Two goblins is twice as good, so make sure you write that down in our science notes.
Yeah.
Two is better than one.
Two goblins.
Underline it.
Okay, so here's sort of my question for you. Well, let's go through all three of them, and then we'll say.
Yeah, let's go through all three.
Okay, we're going to be talking about this guy today. He has shown up on the War Scroll, on the Scourge of Ghyran variant War Scroll. Loon Smasher Fanatic. There's also a Loon Splatter Fanatic, or the Shroom Splatter Fanatic, which is the mushroom guy. Today we're just going to talk about the Loon Smasher Fanatic.
Yeah.
And then finally we have a Boingrot Bounder.
These also important. It's important to note that the previous model, Defying Gravity, which is good for science. That's a thing we like to see in science.
Gravity?
Defying Gravity is good. And this is also just good. We like to see squigs. We like to see good dental hygiene. Some people say that, dentistry is a science. So that's also very good for our list. This is looking good for Gitz.
Yeah, crazy people say that. Okay, let's start the Boingrot Bounder right out of the gate. Here we go.
Okay.
So, I have one representative of the Boingrot Bounder. There's actually like 10. I'm not sure this is the coolest one either. But right out of the gate, how are you feeling about the Boingrot Bounder?
It's neat. It somehow feels a little dated though, personally.
Okay. I could see that.
And, I could see that. Depending on what you think, science actually doesn't like old stuff. So,
yeah, science.
This is not gonna be great. This is not a good sign. Actually, it's got good teeth, but it's not looking good.
Science is constantly changing all of its rules. So,
Also, this is a squig hopper. Boingrot Bounders are the knights, aren't they?
Boingrot. Well, so I thought so. Boingrot Bounders have a mask. Somebody has a mask and like a stabby thing, a spear.
Yeah.
But I searched Boingrot Bounders, and this is what came up on GW site.
Okay.
So okay. Well, but let's get.
Okay, I'm gonna say this is like 10, number 10.
Number 10.
What is number 10 right now?
Number 10 right now, good question. Number 10 is Abhorrent Ghoul King.
Yeah, it's definitely cooler than that. This is our new number 10, I think.
This is your new number 10? I was kind of thinking that I like this in between, yeah, Yeah, why is this what came up and not squig hoppers? I guess that's how the website works. Yeah, Boycott Bounders have like a grid mask type thing almost.
Yeah, they have like night masks.
Yeah, they look a little cooler than the squig hopper. So we're gonna say we're doing squig hoppers today. We'll do Boycott Bounders some other time.
Yeah.
Okay. We got to get them both done anyway. You know what I mean? This is science. How science works, and we have to.
Yeah. Science doesn't care about whether we chose the right picture or not.
Okay, so you think this is the new number 10? I'm kind of inclined to agree. I would have gone as high, honestly, as 7.
Oh wow, okay.
Because I am just. There we go. Wait, 1? No. 2.
No, it's 2-piece.
Okay. I am very excited to just get that clan rat down the list.
Somehow the clan rat's going to go up the list. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's just going to go higher and higher.
I absolutely do not accept the clan rat at that high of a ranking.
The new clan rats are amazing and top 10 models of all time.
Well, I mean, yeah, so is a squig hopper, apparently. Okay, then we've got the Snarl Fang Riders. How do you feel? How do you feel about these new sun goblins, so to speak?
These are great. I think these are great. I like the we still got two goblins, which is twice as good as one goblin.
Okay.
So it should be twice as high as the squig hopper. I'm sorry, that's just science.
That's
so
5.
What's half? Yeah.
Half of 10 is 5. I do think there's a case to be made that's cooler than the Arachnarok, but I will say this. If it's cooler than the Arachnarok, it's cooler than the Brood Terror.
I don't see how that science works, but
no, you don't agree with that. You don't think that?
I don't think so. I don't see it.
So you think number 5, Snarl?
I think number 5,
Snarl Fang. I mean, you're the professional. I think it's just.
This is my field of study. Yes. That's not.
Yeah.
Just put cap. No one knows how to spell cap.
I don't know how to spell any. Neither Sray or I are strong spellers, especially me. I shouldn't throw him under the bus, but I've kind of noticed that he's not great at it. All right, we should rank the spellers in the hobby collab.
Yeah, that's the next list.
Meg 1. Although I don't know if anybody would be 1. Meg isn't always the best speller.
Somehow we have 3.
Nobody.
But no one's
yeah. Okay. Last but not least, or maybe least,
important,
but I don't think so, is the Loon Smasher Fanatic. I guess right out of the gate, I'm wondering, do we like this guy more or less than the Snarl Fang?
I think less.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay.
Now, okay, I feel like there is a problem though.
Yeah, what's that?
In this kit, there is a model that is just a goblin who is on his side vomiting.
Yep.
Which is very scientific. It's not pictured, so I feel like we need to take that into account, though.
Yeah. Now, that it comes with 5 of these guys, and then 1 of those. That's a unit of 5. I think that's a marker that at some point you use to show what unit they were in. Now the rules don't work that way, so you sadly don't need the Barfing Goblin, I think, but it is regardless pretty cool. Okay.
Being Goblin is pretty neat.
So where do you like this guy, Saray?
I don't know. This is pretty great. What do you think? I feel like it could go multiple places. But what does science say, Zach? What is your science telling you?
My science is telling me that this thing is it's definitely cooler than a clan rat, but I don't think it's cooler than Bastion.
All right. Yeah, I think that's our new. That's the new place for it. Okay. Then. I feel like science is leading us to that conclusion.
What did I say? Loon Smasher Fanatic. Sorry. I know how to spell fanatic. Okay.
Just check the thumbnail.
I know. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. So here's our list. Ushuran is number 1. top 2 spots still occupied by Flesh Eater Courts, by the way.
Yeah.
We go down to 12 here today. That's what the list looks like. So we're filling it in.
Where's Archeon? Where'd Archeon go?
Oh, he's down here. Oh, there's
a huge gap there.
Yeah, it's because we're using pages.
Oh,
so
I see.
every 12, I guess it's gonna have a huge gap. Yeah, these two look pretty sad down here right now. But there they are. Okay, there's our gap, and there's our top 10 right there. Okay.
Good to know. Okay.
Good to know. Good to know. Should we do?
All right, everyone. Here's your top 10. Make sure you guys take these notes down. You know, in case you need to reference us, just make sure you put us in, you know, your bibliography.
Yeah, very good. Very pat on the back for Saray and I for this. So we do have a poll, folks at home. We want to make sure you do that poll. We'll discuss the results of that poll at the end of the stream.
Did you even read the poll?
What's that?
Did you check the poll?
A little bit. Yeah, I did.
Okay. It doesn't make any sense.
I love it. It looks completely insane and nonsensical. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so we have a real topic here today, which is the usual. Where are we going here? Oh, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, this is it. Okay, cool. Sorry, I have like a million windows open whenever we do this show. Okay, I'll go all the way up to the top. We get our little story. There's that guy. I forget his name, but he's been missing for a bit. What's his name? We love this guy. He's like the best presenter guy.
I don't remember, but what do you think's in that book? You think it's just empty?
Yeah. Lewis, that's right.
Okay.
Lewis, yeah. Thanks, Soups. Yeah, Lewis is great. Okay. They kind of talk about what's going on with the focus of the update. And this is sort of it right here. The focus of this update is not just it is a little bit Wolf's, but it is also
there's some Get Mob stuff in there.
It is also non Squig Moon Clan stuff. Now, folks, I know people. I think I saw Barry. Somebody. In fact, actually, we owe Barry. Thank you for the super chat. By the way, we wanna make sure we're getting these. We missed one yesterday. Barry says, "Justice for spiders. Keep the faith, Zach." Thank you, Barry. Now, I will say this, Barry. I do have faith. I'm not too worried about this. I'll be honest with you. I don't really think if the goal of these, as I believe it to be, Saray, right, is to look at parts of the book that aren't doing well and say, let's make them do better. I think Spider Riders and Arachnaroks are pretty good. Like, I don't know that means you should be trying to build competitive lists strictly around Spiderfang. I think the answer to that is that if you want to do that, go ahead. It'll be, if you roll well on your bites, you'll win, and if you don't, you'll lose. We've seen that on stream. We've seen turns where Graham has just absolutely decimated an opponent with 5s and 6s. Now he's playing the spiders. So I think I don't think the spiders are bad. I just don't think they were ever intended under their current iteration. I think they're one of the few, along with these guys, the non-Moon Clan, the non-Squig Moon Clan. I think they're the two wings of the book that GW, Matt Rose, does not expect you to build a whole faction around. Does that sound right?
Yeah. And, Scourge of Ghyran seems to be, it's not all-encompassing, right? This is not a full pass. This is just kind of them trying to incentivize some different ways to play. I mean, we've seen plenty of play with trolls or trogs.
All trolls. All trolls is a thing.
Yeah.
Squig heavy is a thing, and wolf heavy.
Yeah.
I think they want wolf heavy to be a thing, and I don't think it is a thing. And so that's,
not yet. I mean, they've only recently gotten their updates.
Right.
So
this book is addressing this addresses that a little bit. Now I will say this: Graham, when Graham started joining our cast, he was looking at things that he'd be interested in. And one of the ones he picked was spiders, which I was pretty happy to let him take over. It doesn't mean that I won't ever play them again on stream, but we kind of want different armies showing up for different people. Different people can play the same armies. We don't have any policy on downstream. We tell everybody, play what you want, play what's fun for you, what's going to make you happy on stream. I'm happy to toss these over to Graham. And I will say that he also expressed some excitement and interest in the non-squig Moon Clan stuff. So we do have in the painting queue here, I actually assembled already 20 shooters and 5 of the Loon Smasher guys. And this was like a month ago I assembled these guys, long before this came out. And we have 5 more of the Fanatics, and we have 20 more shooters. And then for the leader, actually, the Rabble Rouser is actually really good for spiders. And these guys all work together currently in the book, Saray, because there is a battle formation, the Chomp battle formation, the classic Pylon D3, literally works on all Spider Fang units and non-Squig Moon Clan units. So I sort of think the new home of non-Squig Moon Clan is to hang out with spiders. So it's kind of a natural fit. Barry, I'm not too worried about it. I appreciate the support, though. And I love these guys as well. This is my other favorite part of the Gloomspite book, is the non-Squig Moon Clan. Should we jump in?
Let's do it. Let's jump in. Let's talk about the new Scourge stuff.
Yeah, and so that's the theme you're going to be seeing here today, folks at home, is wolf stuff, i.e. Get Mob stuff, and then non-Squig Moon Clan. That's right out of the gate, these 2 battle formations. Both of them are so just exactly what is needed. Very good, great work, like right here. And nice and simple. Extra snappy, once per turn, any combat phase. You pick 3 wolf units that charged, they get +1 rend. On the companion, this is currently their weakness, is rend.
They have no rend.
They have no rend, and a wolf has I think an okay number of attacks. I think he's hitting on 4, wounding on 3, no rend, 2 damage.
I think they only have 2 attacks.
Oh, they only have 2 attacks? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, Snarl Thing only have 2.
2 attacks,
the Snarl Pack Cavalry have 3. So,
okay,
2 or 3 depending on which one you're using.
I mean, yeah. Honestly, this is just what they need.
Getting a little bit of rend. 3 models too is good. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna change the fact that they're still kind of wimpy at the end of the day, but it's something.
No, you're probably right. But if you are wanting to tech into Get Mob, if you love the new Get Mob, if you're excited about the Get Mob, I do think you can win games with them. And I do think that you're probably happy about this because it's taking the one issue you've been having and saying, here you go. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the Gittish Tide is interesting. The Gittish Tide I have a question about, but let's chat it. It's super interesting. You have a 20-man unit of shooters. Mm-hmm. You tow in with one of them on an objective. Mm-hmm. That objective is now being contested. You have control 20 on that unit.
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
No, that's fine. That I get. My question's not that. My question is this better than pick 3 units, pile in, and do D3 mortals? Now, I think if you're going to do probably what Graham is going to do on our channel and be mixing spiders and these guys for a while, I'm not sure the answer is yes. But if you really, truly want to try to take a go, and people make fun of me for spiders, if you really want to make a go at, I think, what is probably truly the absolute worst avenue you could travel for Gloomspite Gitz and do all non-Squig Moon Clan, first of all, I think you would have close to 500 models on the table.
Yes.
Because these things come in units of 20, and when you reinforce them, they're 40.
Yeah.
And Graham and I were trying to figure out if we should build shooters or stabbas with the first box of 20. We picked shooters. And I think with the second box of 20, we're going to be picking shooters also. Stabbas have one better save. And I want to say in melee, obviously they're better, but they're not. The weapon profile is actually not that much better. It's like, and I think it might be one more attack or something. I can't remember why. Like the melee attack is slightly better on stabbas than it is on shooters, but it's not that much better.
Right.
And the range of their shooting is 16, which is like pretty okay. And they have 2 shots each. So each unit of 20 is shooting 40 shots. Now they hit on 4s and wound on 5s and have no rend.
Yeah, but they're not doing it. It's weight of dice.
It's weight of dice, right? I think these are both good. I don't know if Gittish Tide is something we'll definitely take it. Graham, I know, will be excited to take this. And once we have, I think the only issue is we probably need at least 40 non-Squig Moon Clan, and even that is not really enough to take this as your battle tactic.
Not really.
Not
battle
really.
formation, yeah.
It's battle formation, excuse me. So I'm not sure that you can count on us to see this one. Now, as far as Sunbiter pack goes, we haven't had wolves really on our stream yet. Brad is our guy here working on these. It is in the pipeline, but we talk about what armies we don't have. We technically don't have an all wolf Gloomspite Gitz army yet, and we missed the FOMO box on that. So let's talk spell lore, Saray. These guys got a new spell lore, and I actually like that.
Well, that's like the new exciting thing is they have a new spell lore, so they're adding. Finally, there's a reason to, everyone was confused about why can we pick spell lores if we only have one in the book or the index. So finally, we have factions that have multiple.
Well,
factions that have multiple, which is nice.
Yeah, more than a handful. That already, I think, because right now it's just Seraphon and Tzeentch that have multiple.
Yeah.
Gloomspite Gitz are a natural choice for multiple. I'm very curious, Saray, what we're gonna get when we get Soulblight Gravelords. Their book is coming out this weekend, so they're gonna get a Scourge of Ghyran update. My guess is it's gonna be one of the last ones they reveal to us, and I'm curious if they get a spell lore.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, each faction has like its top wizardy faction, or each Grand Alliance, and these are kind of that would make sense. Soulblight is the top wizardy faction in Death, so them getting spell lore would check out. Okay, this is a great lore. Now, what are you currently competing with? As always, are the questions we like to ask ourselves. Currently, you are competing with some good spells. Also, the existing lore is not bad. It is. Let me make sure I have it right. Check me, folks at home, if I missed one. It is the unlimited is sneaky distraction. It is goes on the caster, gives him a 12-inch bubble. Enemy units wholly within 12 inches of the caster are -1 to hit. Now, -1 to hit is strong. Having to get enemy units wholly within 1. Oh, it's gone. Oh, that's right. You're right. The new one is moving the moon. That's right. The new unlimited spell is moving the moon. Yeah, and that's not as good because you have to cast a spell and then get the 3 up. It's kind of lame. Okay. And then the other two.
Let's actually talk about what these are. I feel like we should mention what these are first.
Yeah. But quickly though, the other two are just mortal wound, like a little more D3 mortal wounds to 3 things, and then the last one is a teleport. So that's what you're up against. Okay.
Yeah.
The unlimited one here, Bright Fright, pick 3 visible Gloomspite Gitz units, wholly within 12. It goes off on a 6. And then they can use retreat as if it was your movement phase, and no damage is inflicted. It's an interesting spell for an unlimited spell.
Yeah. How many times are you really going to be using it? Because you're already choosing 3 friendly visible. I guess if you have your units kind of spread across the board, it could be good. This doesn't give you retreat and charge, but Git Mob have access to retreat and charge. So in that case, that's pretty dang good. At least, unless I'm missing something, that's quite strong. Being able to retreat and charge.
Yes, so
all over the board.
Clearly, it's called I think it's like geared towards being the Git
Mob stuff, right?
Yeah. Although I honestly think I think it's going to be good for a lot of Gloomspite Gitz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one. I think it's weird as the unlimited, but that's fine. Like if you might need it on multiple spots of the board, so
Yeah.
that's where it would be useful. Okay, I like these other two a lot. As well, especially this next one, Get Speed. Until the start of your movement, add 2 inches to the move characteristics of friendly, non-troll Gloomspite Gitz units, wholly within 12 of a unit. This is really good. This is a great spell. Going off on a 6. By the way, I always like to remind people: Web Spinner Shamans on a Ragnarok, +1 to cast, and a bubble of +1 to cast. So going off on a 5 to make a bubble of 12-inch bubble of +1. Barry Hercules, you're saying spiders. This is my spider spell, right? This is an amazing spell on an Ragnarok. A 12-inch bubble on an Ragnarok is most of the table.
It's half the damn board.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is a great spell. There's little
and
else
again,
to
like
say.
I said, going off on a 6 is great. You get a place of power. Suddenly you're popping off a 4 on 2 dice.
Exactly. This is what I want as my unlimited spell. Is this one?
The
Get Speed. Yeah, I want to put this on a few places of the board. I want a bubble. I want two Arachnaroks with a +2 inch move bubble.
Covering the entire board.
Yeah. Okay, Gaze of the Glare Face. Enemy unit. 18 inches, very nice.
Yep.
Can't use run. Have the characteristic of their ranged weapons.
Yeah. My KO are fucking crashing to the ground right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is a good spell too. This spell is I would say, a little bit more situational.
Very situational, but very good in those situations.
But very good in those situations. And shutting down run is never a bad thing. And it's nice because it's got the 18-inch shutdown run, not like the 12-inch. Okay, well, I can still move 5 inches and charge you anyway. You know? So, yeah, I mean, this is good. And by the way, run abilities, right, is also redeploy. So, you kind of... this is also a great spell. Again,
I would say a pretty solid spell lore, right?
Solid spell lore. One of the best around, all three. The only thing that I think is odd about this is the choice for the unlimited spell. But looking at the other two, I mean, this would actually be a very powerful spell lore if Get Speed or Glare Face were
unlimited. If Gaze of Glare Face was unlimited,
that'd be devastating.
Telling people, it'd be too strong.
Yeah. Okay, look, this is great. And I will say this about Bright Fright, which is that I like it. But again, this is actually a lot of movement. And again, for something like spiders, right? Like which we play here in stream, that means an Arachnarok is moving 20 inches that turn. This is a unit that can move over terrain as if it had fly. Now, it counts as retreating, right?
Yep.
So it can't then charge, but it can get pretty far. And one of the reasons I bring this up, Saray, is because, again, remember, you have lost the teleport. You have lost the teleport spell by taking this lore. But maybe 20-inch moving, 24-inch moving wolves, it's okay.
Yep. Everything's going fast. Who needs a teleport when you can just move really fast?
Yeah. And it's not just what I also like about it is it's also moved twice. You know what I mean? So you kind of get more information. You can make different decisions. I like it. Yeah.
It's great.
Here's the other thing. You could use this. Imagine casting this in your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
Completely
screw up someone's.
Right. Well, your opponent would then get to move and potentially recharge these units, but you could do things like, it's just great repositioning. And remember, it's 3 units. It's not like
Yeah,
it's just one.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, I like this one. Quite nice. And yeah, Tad points out Gaze of the Glare Face. Also pretty nasty in your opponent's turn. Hey, that auto run, you probably need it for a battle tactic. It's not going to happen now, right?
Congrats, not happening.
Yeah. Okay, should we look at War Scrolls? Are we ready for some War Scroll chat?
Yes.
Okay. We got 2, both from the same kit. I've recently been looking at these because, like I said, we start to pick some of these guys up about a month ago. And I will say that they're still holding true to the fact that the Loon Smasher is the one that does a little more damage. That's kind of the beat face one. And the Spore Splatter has some weird buffing that it sort of does, like some weird other things that they do. I don't know which one of these is better, but let's chat them. And before we do that, I want to check the points. Yeah, Spore Splatters are so cheap. I think they got even cheaper. I think both of these.
Yeah, 70 points. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I can't remember if they're currently 80 or if they are actually 70. So, okay, first of all, everybody loves to point out that Loon Smasher Fanatics has some of the most insane damage output potential in the game. And they like to look at it and be like, okay, well, if everything goes right, it's like 150 some damage or something crazy, right? Of course, that's not going to happen. But, listen, 5 of these jumping out and charging something is a little scary. Odd attack, especially if you're threes, Ren 2, D3 damage. If you have a unit of 5, that's 15 attacks, so it's probably 10 hits. That's probably 8. That's probably 6 wounds. 6 D3 damage, Ren 2 wounds. That's good.
I mean, yeah. I guess these are 100 points, but
these are 110. These are 110 for 5.
110, yeah.
They hide. This is an existing rule that they currently have right now. They hide in a unit, and then
hop out.
Then they hop out.
Hop out.
In any charge phase, you set them up wholly within 3 inches of a Moon Clan Stabos or Shooters unit. Then they can move 2d6. It can pass through any models, and their combat ranges can end that move in combat. And then roll dice for each enemy unit in combat. And inflict the amount of damage, mortals, equal to that roll.
That's pretty great.
So this is a charge ability also, by the way, for whatever that matters. So what they did here, if folks at home are wondering what they changed, they didn't really change the role of this unit like we've kind of seen happen so far. They just changed that. They said, what do we want this to do? And let's just actually make it do it. This is, yeah, exactly. So James's point here is the point I'm making, which is they used to have to be outside at 9. And they don't really have a plus to charge. So they used to basically still do, they oh, surprise, here they are. They're going to pop out and they're going to attack you. But like they had to follow all the normal rules for that. And so it felt not quite right.
Right.
I think now this is really good, and I personally do like it on shooters more because which is with painting up 5 more of these and 20 more shooters. I think I see a world where you'll probably see Graham just taking 20, maybe 2 units of 20 shooters, each quote unquote protected by a unit of these things, and it's scary. So first it's D6 mortals. It's not D6 mortals on a 2-up or a 3-up, by the way. It's D6 mortals. Yeah. Each unit that they pass over, they can pass over a character and do D6 mortals, right? A hero.
Yeah.
And then you have to fight them. Now.
Yeah.
And by the way,
you're gonna kill them, but
you're gonna kill them. Now, by the way, yeah, you are gonna kill them, and that's really worth pointing out. But it is also worth pointing out. That you could do this in your opponent's charge phase, and it's not a counter charge. So they are free counter charge. This unit counter charges for free. effectively.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this is like pretty fun.
Yeah, that's quite good.
Again, as you pointed out, Saray, they die when you look at them.
Yes.
Especially if you have 5. I mean, yeah. So you can't quite just do that trick because you won't get any attacks off. And let's say I go into 20. Let's say I go into 20 shooters, and you're trying to stay alive, and I go into 20 shooters with I don't know, 8 Dreadscythe Heretids that I've got left in the late game.
Right.
I'm gonna put 3 of those 8 into these guys, and I'm gonna kill them. And then I'm gonna put
Yeah,
the
you're
other
gonna
5
murder the hell out of them.
into your shooters, and I'm gonna kill less than I would have. But is that really worth it, right? So I think you do have to be careful with these, and in a more offensive capability, which I think is maybe how they're better used, they might be better with stabbas. In other words, you're moving your stabbas up and
Just
now
upping their
yeah.
kill potential.
Yeah, yeah. That said, also kind of moving shooters up, not making a charge, towing in on an objective with 1 shooter, and getting 20
Oh
on
my
the,
God.
and then releasing these guys. Super fun. Super fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's these guys. I think they're just one of the most fun things in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, just good, clean fun. Now, the other thing they did change, I think, is worth pointing out. They used to. I don't have the thingy up on me, and we have the book, and I gave. I bought the book, and I think the book is here, but I gave the code to Graham because he's using it more now. They used to have a random number of attacks. Also, is that correct? I think they actually used to have
D6. Yeah.
D6 attacks.
D6 attacks.
And I think that's where the people got excited about. Oh, they could do 180 damage or something crazy.
Yeah.
This next unit in the current iteration is a very confused unit. It's like, is this a scary fighty unit, or is this a buffing unit?
Right.
Yeah. So they are not as hard hitting as their Loon Smasher Fanatic brothers, as you can see.
They're also only 70 points.
They're so cheap. Nothing in the game is 70 points. Okay, here's what they do. So the damage output.
Chaos Spawn's 60.
Oh,
so.
that's true. Something else is pretty cheap too. I can't remember. Two attacks.
But anyway.
Yeah, 2 attacks. They weirdly hit better and wound worse. You see that? 3 hit on 3s and wound on 4. I'm not sure what that's all about. Rend is worse. This is not an amazing attack profile, but no. it's okay. Okay. Basically, it's pretty straightforward, and quite good. If they're in combat with an enemy unit, that enemy unit has -1 attack. Hard to overstate how good that is, right?
It's very good.
It's very good. It is passive. It's not till the end of the turn, which means once the Spore Splatter Fanatics are killed, which, again, not hard to do.
They will be.
Then this rule goes away. Okay. Spinning Loons. End of any turn, they move 2d6. They can move through combat, and they can finish the move in combat. Which might be ill-advised because, again, they're easy to kill.
They die if you look at them funny.
Yeah, I certainly listen. If you have 70 points, you're not going to turn down a unit that can move once in your hero phase and 2d6 at the end of every turn, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's a lot of movement. It's during your opponent's turn 2, and it's 70 points. And
this is like the perfect screen, right? This is like the perfect screening unit.
It is quite a good screen. That's like in their lore what they're doing too, right?
It's so cheap. It debuffs. You know, you don't feel bad when it dies, and it can move at weird times to screw things up. It sounds like it's pretty amazing.
Yes, but it's not the perfect screen in my opinion, Saray, for one really good reason.
Well, because they die.
They die just so brutally easy. The -1 attacks. The -1 attacks is only going to keep them alive against very like things that are also 100 points or less, right?
I didn't say a screen that was going to last.
Right. So,
Just
for example, on my
you
payment
only need
table,
this. You know,
yeah.
there's only 4 or 5 turns in a game. If they screw up stuff for 1 turn, that's good enough.
No, how many points are plague bearers?
140 for
That's
10.
That's the perfect screen in the game. Is plague bearers.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. These guys are very interesting. So I will say this: we build lists. We've all gone through this. We've built our lists, and you got 70 points left over. This is amazing. More factions need something that's pretty utility handy at 70 points. Hard to not love this for its points value. Like, that said, like I said, we have 10. We've already assembled 5 as Loon Smashes. I think I will do the other 5 as Loon Smashes, but it does make me want to pick up 5 more for Spore Splatter and have them here and be like, oh, cool, I have 70 points. Brad, Steven, we all have Gloompite Gitz armies. Our bases are fortunately kind of similar, which we like to keep consistent when we do streams. And how many times will any of those people, Steven building a Trogs list, have 70 points? Okay, well, I'll add these guys. They move 2. I mean, this is why I like them. It's just 5 control that moves 2d6 at the end of your opponent's turn. I don't know. Kind of nice.
Yeah.
But by the way, Saray, fun fact. They are non-squig Moon Clan, which means if you can toe in on an objective with your 2d6 move, you count as 5, not 1.
Is that? I just want to check something real quick. Is that only once you choose 1 unit? Yeah, I mean, it's still good. It's annoying to have. You can only choose once. It's once per turn at the end of any turn.
It's once per turn. The way I see this ability, before we move on to the other thing we want to talk about today, the way I see the Gittish Tide ability is I see it as like a redeploy that didn't need to happen, right? Rather than be like, oh, well, if he comes up here, he's going to come up here with 10 or 5 on the objective, and then he's going to charge me, and I'm going to have to redeploy away. Instead, you just toe in with 1 goblin. You count as 20.
Right, and we're talking about the Spore Splatter. At the end of the turn, they move 2d6, go tag an objective that, you weren't expecting to have to protect at the end of a turn.
Yeah, I love this for 70 points. It's wild. It's great for 70 points. Okay.
I love this for them.
Yes. Folks at home, how are we feeling about Gloompite Gitz? Interesting choice of War Scrolls, the two fanatic units. I like it. Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I like them. Yeah, I think they're both good.
I guess.
I think I'm most excited for is new spell lore.
Same.
Just because it's a new spell lore, but also the spell lore is quite good.
It is quite good.
Yeah, and I'm happy that some people, Wolf players, Git Mob players are getting something to kind of help that army along.
Same. Yeah, I would say that, we're always going to say, I wish blah, blah, blah more. I will say that I do think if the goal was to make Moon Clan non-squig units more attractive, they have accomplished that, in my opinion, with the Loon Smasher Fanatic. I think there is a world. I'm gonna go. Let me go back here quick. So the whirling thing is only once per turn army, so you cannot be releasing. What I was starting to say is, this is sort of okay. If they wanted to make Moon Clan non-squig stuff really attractive, I don't know that was the goal. I don't think they've done that for 2 reasons. One, this is once per army. So if I'm getting charged into by something nasty on my stab line, I can only really do this trick with 1 place, which makes me think you actually want to be selective about where you put these guys, and you might want to do units of 10.
It makes me wonder if I think maybe we're assuming too much I wonder if they just wanted people to start to take
Yes, I
some
think
amount of infantry and squig lists,
correct.
as opposed to just infantry.
Yes, that's where I was going, and I think you're correct, Saray. But then to that end, I think the confused part, because I do think you're right. The confused part there,
Is
though,
the Gittish Tide.
is that I don't know that Gittish Tide is really worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is. Gittish Tide is good. It's sort of like you've been saying.
Yeah.
You've been saying this often. Like, this shouldn't be a blank. It should be a blank. Like, I don't want Gittish Tide to be my battle formation. I want Gittish Tide.
I want it to be an artifact or something, right? But
I want it to be.
In this case, it's like, this is good.
Frankly, this would be interesting if it was a once per game artifact. Depends what else you'd be giving up, but like it could be very good if at the end of the turn you pick that one, you then be like, okay, this is actually 20 on here, not one, right?
Yeah. But as a battle formation, this is great. I think these are on balance. This is one of the better Scourge of Ghyran things we've seen. I think it's some of the most interesting things we've seen.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, now we finally got something that we're really excited for. And I love how they just came out and was just like, oh, here it is. They did like tease little things or whatever. We've all been wondering how our battle tactics is going to work. Well, we got it. We kind of know. They just kind of came out and said exactly how they work. Okay, so now we know. We've heard before that you pick these during that you're going to be picking these during army composition. So that's not new. But now we're finding out that there are a variety of different battle tactics that you could pick. The one they show off is Scouting Force.
Yeah. Can you click on it so you can see the whole thing?
No.
I think if you click on it, it'll pop it out.
No. Oh,
no, it doesn't.
I can do this.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So you pick this during, as I said, during army composition, and you actually pick 2 of these. That's going to be interesting. And then they just have these things that you're doing to score points. And each time you score one of these things, it's 5 points. This one has 3. I can't remember. Did it say they all have 3? Let me go back here.
I don't know. Let's see.
Each card, 3 battle tactics. Each one has 3. And you have the 5 turns to complete these 3 things. You have to complete them in order, and they get harder to achieve. So scouting one was an interesting one. First one is 3 scouting units. By the way, they define what a scouting unit is. It's a hero infantry, a non-hero infantry, or a cavalry unit. So no monsters and no heroes, no war machines. You have to have 3 or more friendly units wholly outside friendly territory. Easy. Right.
Yep.
First 5 points should be easy. Second one actually gets pretty hard pretty quick. I thought.
Yeah.
3 or more. Like, 3 or more objectives or terrain features that you control are being contested by any friendly scout units, and they have to be within enemy territory. Again, this sort of depends on the battle plans. We haven't seen really battle plans yet, so we don't know what territories look like. But there's like that one. Was it shifting objectives right now? That the territory is 3 little blocks, right? Okay, and then last but not least, is contested terrain feature that you control wholly within enemy territory, more than 6 inches from friendly territory. So this one is interesting because like there are battle plans currently where you couldn't even score this one. Again, shifting objectives. You could not score this one in shifting objectives. How's that going to go? Also,
I mean, they have to be doing some pretty big changes, right?
Also, is primary still out of the same amount, 30, which would mean is the max score now 60, not 50? It doesn't super matter, but what I'm curious about more so is the balance of how much these are worth compared to how much your primary is worth.
I mean, we could see primary going down, right, to keep it a 50-point game. Because I mean, honestly, these are like kind of hard to do.
You could score if you have 2 of these, and each worth 5. You could score 30 points here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Primary could be, go down to 4 points. Right now it's
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
I could see it. I could see a de-emphasizing on taking primary, and I mean, in my head, I kind of like that more. Um, Something we've talked about in all of Warhammer, not just AOS, but like 40K as well,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is um, wanting the games to feel like a battle.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the whole objective system is really good for gameplay, and it makes the game easy to pick up and play. But sometimes it just feels like standing on circles. Um,
Yeah.
and so
It's
this doesn't take that away, but this
no.
kind of has the potential to shift the emphasis to, well, you'd have to build an army around this, right?
Right.
This
Yeah.
is not
Which
something you
is
can
which
just
is
do.
cool.
You have to build your army around completing long-term objectives, which I think is a really I like it. I think, at
Yeah.
least in my head, I haven't played it yet, but
I like it too. I mean, this is something that I really love about Age of Sigmar, and I think Matt Rose has been doing a good job with, is that I think personally he has been doing this really interesting thing where he's been blending the lines of competitive and narrative. People are
yeah,
going to be showing up to competitive events with narrative armies, like, because you
yeah.
have
Well,
to.
potentially, right? We have to
Right.
see what the rest of these are.
But they kind of make the point, like, you might not take this if you're Nurgle, but it would be good
Yeah,
for Deepkin, or it would be good for I forget who else they say, but Skaven, right? Um,
yeah.
that
I
you
mean,
build
it's
towards
it's
it, like you're saying, right? It's super interesting.
it reminds it's like in third ed you had grand strategy. Is that what it was?
Yeah,
You just had to finish it by the end of the game.
right. It was a
This feels
minor,
like a better take on grand strategies to me.
yeah, a more significant component, right?
Yes.
Now, Saul, I was thinking about the same thing that Saul brings up here. This morning, when I first saw these, I was thinking the problem here, potential problem, is that all of us, because of the stream, play multiple armies. But let's say you really don't. Let's say you really just play Skaven.
Yeah.
Are you about to have an edition of the game where you, like, especially if you play kind of a lot, 2 months in, you're like, cool, I take scouting and this other one, and that's what you do for the next 10 months? Is that
Yeah.
good? Is
I mean,
that fun?
that's potentially not fun.
If I mean here, but I think the answer to your question, Saul, um, is this. I think you're going to have to decide to make your own fun or not, right? And if you want to be competitive and you want to get good with your army, then you probably will take the same two over and over again for the practice, for the reps. If you're more so wanting to have fun, this lets you build that army differently. And also, even within, let's say, Skaven as an example, if you're taking Molder and you're doing all these big rat ogres and storm fiends and stuff, these become less. This scouting one becomes less interesting for you, right? So even within an army, I think I'm very curious how many of these will exist. But even within an army, I think you'll say, well, I want to take a different kind of Skaven, which means I'm probably gonna have to take a different kind of battle tactic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
They didn't say how many of these they're going to have.
I don't
It
believe
says
so. Yeah.
card 5 at the top. So curious how many they'll have. I really want to know if they're going to have faction specific ones.
Or Grand Alliance specific ones, maybe.
Grand Alliance specific ones. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I don't know if they'll do that. I'm curious if they will do that. I feel like with Battle Tactics this past edition, we all kind of say the same thing, which is that most of the faction specific ones are not. They're okay. They're fine. Order seems to have gone a little bit ahead, and Destruction seems to be a little bit behind. I think Death and Chaos ones are kind of right in there. I think Death and Chaos are the two that match the playstyle as well. It's like, oh, this is what the army wants to be doing anyway, under most circumstances.
Tad bringing up a good point. Having it be ordered,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's something that's going to end up changing at some point. Because you're right, it does feel very locked in. Although I guess another way I'm thinking about it is, are they intending you to not be able to complete cards? Because you're bringing two, right? You're
Yeah.
bringing two cards, so because you have to sequence them, I'm wondering if in their like calculus, it's like, okay, well, we're only expecting, you have 6 potential things you can do in a 5-point turn, but we're really only expecting people to do 3 or 4.
Yeah, or like we said earlier, is it still out of 50 somehow? Like,
Yeah,
we were kind of assuming, well, the max you would be able to score is 30, right? 5 times
yeah,
6. But maybe it's not like that. Maybe they still say, oh yeah, secondary is capped at 20.
yeah,
So you can do both of them to 2, or you can do one of them to 3 and one of them to 1.
yeah. I mean, that doesn't break the sequence, but
It doesn't break the sequence, but it does mean, like, let's like these Deepkin ones, I can easily do these Deepkin ones currently
yeah,
with or sorry, the scouting ones, I can do these with my Deepkin army, really, right?
yeah,
But let's say then I pick one more that's like the first one is kill one hero. Okay, I can kill
yeah.
one hero. And if they say, well, these are out of 20, then I'm kind of like, well, that's fine, because I can do
Yeah, you don't
these
care
3.
about doing the third.
Yeah, and
Uh,
or even the second one for the other
yeah,
one. And they might want that because it might help armies feel even more narrative. In the context, I think it's going to feel a little more narrative without seeing the rest. So I know that I
yeah,
can truly say this, but I feel like it's going to feel a little more narrative if you're mostly trying to accomplish one and then maybe trying to accomplish the first thing on the second one. If you're
yeah,
doing scouting, but you're also doing like something based on shooting a lot or something,
yeah.
and you're trying to accomplish all 3 for both, I don't know. Yeah.
And Tad, again, bringing up another good point, is like it presents your opponent with counterplay.
Sure.
So I think that becomes really interesting for which tactics you choose and how you build your army. Because you're right. If someone knows exactly what you need to do next turn, they can shut it down. But having that second card, maybe something completely different, is nice as an option. If this were only one card, you choose one set, I think it would be bad. I think having 2 cards, being able to choose 2 cards, is
Yeah.
a smart choice.
It's interesting to think about the scouting one, like you're saying, and talking about counterplay, as Tad brought up, which is that if you, like, it's very interesting if you're playing against a scouting party. Let's say your city's a Sigmar. You're like, well, cool. I'm just gonna park some. I'm gonna park some steel helms, or I'm gonna park some Fusiliers, or currently hammers. I'm sure they're going away soon, but I'm just gonna park them in terrain. Like, they're gonna sit here in this terrain, and I know my opponent has to come take terrain pieces from me, right?
Exactly, right? That's
Yeah.
I think that's what Tad's saying, is like there's counterplay to it.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
on its head, I think I see where he's coming from, right? It's like, that's annoying. I feel like it's so easy to be countered, but also that's kind of interesting from a competitive. It's an interesting equation to solve, and it's not as straightforward as stopping battle tactics.
Right, exactly. And I think it does a couple other things I like. So one, with the counterplay thing, I think you will develop archetypes. And right here with scouting, you can clearly see that control of terrain is a thing. Now, objectives are also mentioned, but that's happening right now anyway. So control of terrain becomes a thing. And how to, like, thinking about when you build your army, you're going to say, well, how am I going to do that, right? How am I going to also to not just have things taking objectives, but counter scouting, right, by the scouting battle tactic. What I actually really like about this, though, Saray, and I think will help speed games up, is that no one's going to have to sit and try to figure out a battle tactic anymore.
Yeah, the people who watch our streams are rejoicing, like, thank God we don't have to watch these idiots look at battle tactics for 5 minutes.
Streams is what I was thinking, of course, but also, I mean, honestly, competitive play. It's just, we show up at the table, we both know what we're trying to accomplish. I kind of like it.
Tad, we know Tad's a competitive player. We know that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Tad, what do you think? I hope that it's not limited to one per turn. I think being able to
Scoring one
score
per turn.
multiple.
Yeah.
It is one per turn.
Well, no, he's saying he thinks it probably will be.
Oh yeah, I hope it's not. I hope you're able to score more than one per turn.
Yeah, well,
because I think you're right. I think that makes it way too easy to counter.
Yeah.
But if I'm set up to do two, and it's like, well, I can only really realistically counter one of their things,
hold on. But hold on, not really though, right? Actually, if you think about it, so let's say you have the scouting one, and then you have something like kill a bunch of stuff in the shooting phase, right? Like it's your KO or whatever, and there's a shooting one, overwhelming firepower or whatever, right? You can try to accomplish both, and your opponent can try to counterplay one or the other, and maybe you fail one and fail the other, but you get your 5 points anyway. So maybe.
Well, it's definitely not happening with KO because it's non-infantry.
Yeah. But you see my point, like that you might be able to actually still only score 5, but kind of not be as easy to counter as you think because you're attempting 2.
Yeah.
And your opponent might not be in a position to shut both down. Yeah. Listen. I'm excited for these. To be honest,
I'm excited. I'm with you. I'm excited. I don't know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
I'm really curious. I don't know. I kind of feel like this is shifting weirdly, right? This is for match play, so theoretically competitive.
Yeah.
This feels like it's kind of shifting away from competitive or purely competitive play.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I think Matt Rose has really been doing things like this recently, where he's been blending narrative elements into competitive play and forcing you into it. He like I said, like, cool, here's my DK.
Listen, fucker, you're gonna bring a thematic army if I have to force you.
Yeah. Okay, you wanna build a bullshit army? All right, cool. Like, there's no battle tactic that says have your army be a bunch of bullshit. 5 points. Or he does, just out of spite, he makes like a horrible one that all competitive players take and it ruins it. It's just like 5 points. Army is all bullshit. 5 more points. Still a bunch of bullshit on the board. And then last one. Some of my bullshit's still here. Oh, I got it. Everyone got all their primary or all their secondaries. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. I like it. I like both competitive and narrative play. So seeing them get this synergy like this is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have to see how it plays out, though. I'm really curious.
My last concern that I will state is a classic problem. I always think of the example of the Universal Special Artifacts in last edition that had to be beaten into the ground over and over again. Arcane Tome. And before it was a 6-up ward, the Pendant or whatever was a 5-up ward.
There's going to be one obviously good one.
They're just become obviously good ones. This one, now the way they're going to have to fix this is exactly what you see here. So this is a good sign, which is that, again, your KO. Beastclaw Raiders. I mean, Beastclaw Raiders are a faction that narratively kind of, they're always on the move. They should theoretically be good scouts, but this is, you'd have to take a ton of Mournfangs for this to work. You can't score with Stonehorns. So you're not going to take this. Gargants, obviously not going to be scouting. But could Gargants be scouts? Yeah, I think so. Right? But they're not going to take this one. So there's going to be keywords, I think, that help keep people moving around and doing the different ones. But still, how many are there going to be? How many can you get away with? How much after 10 months are we looking at? Are we, am I setting up a game or picking some of these for us, or we're picking them, and we're looking and we're like, oh yeah, we never take this one, and it's like, I don't know, out control score somebody on this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And again, Tad, basically saying what I agree with. What you're saying, the concern that there might be the obvious good one.
Obvious good one. Obvious good one. Obvious good two. Obvious good handful. But that's hard, and some of it I think is kind of inevitable. I don't mind if there's 2 or 3 out of 12. Maybe let's say there's 12, 2 or 3 that I'm just like, I don't know who would take this, but I do mind if there's like 1 or 2 that just you're always dealing with. Tech Goblin, thank you.
Do you think there'll be a magic one?
I bet. Yeah, of course. I bet there will be a magic. Yeah, like right. We can kind of hypothesize there'll be a magic one.
Yeah. This is
There'll
a
be
movement one.
there's gonna be something about melee that's like have one
Kill
unit
stuff.
destroy 2 units in the same turn or something like that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great for things like witch elves and corn. Um, yeah, I think for sure we're gonna see we'll see different types. We'll probably see a hero centric one.
Yeah.
That's gonna be something about have heroes fight, have
Yeah.
heroes kill other heroes, stuff like that. Out of the gate, that one is like right away. I'm like, yeah, no one's gonna take that one, right? Like,
Yeah.
but some people might, right? Again, that Beastclaw Raiders might. I mean, when you're a Frostsword and Stonehorn
Yeah.
or a Huskguard, you kind of win most hero versus hero fights. So it's like,
Yeah.
why not? Okay, Tech
Yeah.
Goblin.
Super chat from Tech Goblin.
Yeah, thanks, Tech Goblin. He says, I think in first season my list started becoming a bit similar regardless of army, as I had to be ready for the same tactics. Now I think I will have even more variety when switching armies. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. Like, this is going to be something you just... But, as pointed out earlier, it also runs the same risk of, I played all 12 months with my Deepkin doing scouting. Like, right away, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, most of my army, my Deepkin will just always pick this. I don't know what the other ones are going to look like, but this is like fish in a barrel. No pun intended.
Yeah.
A little intended.
Unintended.
Pun intended slightly. Yeah. So, like, that's kind of the concern. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Tech Goblin, by the way, for the support, of course. We appreciate it. And I feel you. Right now, you do kind of have to say, well, I need units that have, I need utility, I need a hammer, I need an anvil. You're going through, and you're right, you're looking for those roles in each army. And I think that's why certain armies are just really good right now. And those armies, when I look and think about what those armies have, and I'm going to specifically say Iron Jaws and Flesh Eater Courts, these two armies stand out to me as like, other than in both cases shooting, you kind of look at the army and you go, you know what, this army can kind of do everything. Like, Iron Jaws can weirdly be kind of quick. They've got a Deepkin as well, by the way. All three of these armies have all the tools. Slaves to Darkness, I think.
I mean, I think they've got good infantry, cheap infantry, fast cavalry.
Yeah, you're right.
Cavalry.
We don't.
Right.
You're right. We don't see a lot of. We're not seeing still a lot of Dark Oath show up, but I think the tools.
Looking at this has made me think I need to get some Dark Oath cavalry.
Yeah. And that's what those guys.
In that regard, it's already kind of changing how I'm thinking about doing stuff.
Super fun. Saray, do you think we sufficiently covered this?
I think we did.
Did we give the people? Did we do a good job reading the internet to everybody and people feel?
Everyone, we've read to you.
We've read the internet to you.
Let's feel good about that.
Let's.
You didn't have to read.
Let's do some goodbye stuff. We've got a poll.
Okay.
We're gonna close. My favorite faction of Gitz faction is Glorious Goblin mode, Too Fast, Too Furious, Credence Clearwater Revival, and Girls Gone Wild. Yeah. Is Girls Gone Wild a reference to Squigs Gone Wild?
Yes.
Yes.
And Credence Clearwater Revival they have a book called Bad Moon Rising, which is just a CCR song.
Yeah.
And Too Fast, Too Furious, obviously Get Mob.
Get Mob, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is great. That's what won. Too Fast, Too Furious.
People love wolves.
People love wolves. Let's chat tomorrow. Tomorrow, same time, same place. Looks like they did tease the faction. I'll let you guys decide for yourself what Tortured Souls means. But I think we can probably make some assumptions, especially again if we're saying maybe they're rotating through Grand Alliance. 1, 2. Let's chat tomorrow's game, which happens at it'll actually be happening in 11 a.m. Pacific time, Saturday morning. We will have a game. We know for sure that one of the factions in that game will be Soulblight Gravelords. New stuff is afoot. John is super excited for Soulblight. We're gonna see all kinds of new things. Get excited. We're excited for that. The other faction we'll be putting up soon. You'll see. And
it might have to do with tomorrow's show.
It might have to do with tomorrow's show. That's it. I think we did it. Did we do it? We did it, Saray. Yeah.
We did it.
We did it. Folks, everybody, thank you so much. We will see you tomorrow. I think we did it. As we like to say, be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, and always be creating. Bye, folks.
Bye.